Tourette syndrome, where it's hard to control your leg, and you got to be careful. There's a lot of expensive stuff around this studio. So, Con, what broke?
30 seconds.
Thank you.
On location, it's the Todd Allbaugh Show. And now, pursuing truth wherever it may lead, here's your host, Todd Allbaugh.
Across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network and streaming worldwide on the Civic Media app. Good afternoon, everybody. Todd Allbaugh here, live on location at beautiful WXCO Radio, Bull Falls Radio, out of Wausau, Wisconsin here. We are proud to be here at our great studios. Aaron Zommers, our producer and engineer, back at the world headquarters in Madison. It is Thursday, October 18th, 2025. It is a great day to be a Wisconsinite. Welcome in, everybody. Zommers, how are things down at the old world headquarters in Madison?
They're good. They're pretty quiet. A lot of people are either left in the middle of the day or are coming in later because Madison has the night market tonight. So.
Oh, that's right, the night market tonight. Well, normally I would help out, but I'm here in the North Woods, so I'm or at least the border of the North Woods. Yeah, I'm preoccupied in a very, very good way. Zommers and I will get into this more later, but boy, what a night last night in Waukesha for the world premiere of No Packers, No Life. And the reason my voice is crackly, I don't think is because I didn't scream really during the movie. Maybe the night air, Zommers, but I've still, for those watching on the stream, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, I've got my my chartreuse green bracelet. It's like a water park bracelet, and I've found no one to cut it off of me because I can't. I don't know. Maybe Chad Holmes will help me cut off my bracelet later on, Zommers. How about that? But you had a good time, Zommers?
Oh, absolutely. It was great to meet some of our listeners, and also to see No Packers, No Life. Like you said, we're going to talk more about it later. But in short, go see this movie. It is impossible not to smile for the entire time.
Yeah, it's really a good one, and many thanks to Sean Hannish, Paul Giacotti Berry, all the other producers, Ty Morris as well, Mark Cass from Lammy, the Team Lammy as well, for putting all that together. It was really a great production. Zommers, I'll tell you more about it a little bit later on in this show. Also at the bottom of this hour, Civic Media's political editor and founder of the Recombobulation Area, Mr. Dan Schaefer, will be along to help us recombobulate on all things political, and the Milwaukee Brewers as well. They get underway tonight with Game 3 out in Los Angeles. More on that later. And then in hour 2, a What's Worse edition. Todd's been doing a lot of driving this week, as I talk about myself in the third person. But Sun in the Eyes while driving or driving through fog. That's the category today. And we have a brand new segment called Wisconsin Fun Facts, which will be in hour number 2. But right now, the reason that we're here, the great open house of WXCO Bull Falls Radio in Wausau, we are joined by the general manager, the voice of WXCO, as I'm fond of saying, one of the two hardest working people in civic media, Mr. Chad Holmes. How are you?
I tell you, I don't know how I'm hiding the fact that I don't do anything around.
That's not true at all.
You just keep on saying that, and it makes me feel like such a phony. But no, it's wonderful that you're here. I really appreciate you coming here to join us as part of this open house. It's something we wanted to do. We've added a couple of folks to our staff and wanted to kind of open things up. We have not done anything like this since we moved into this building a couple of years ago. So yeah, I said, hey, let's do something a little special. I put it out there to the folks in Madison to say we'd love to have one of our statewide hosts, and you came up, and after being on the road last week, to do it again here today, I really appreciate it.
Well, our pleasure and honor. I appreciate the invite. We were trying to think of the last time I was here, probably going on 2 years ago or so.
Life just rolls along where I can tell you what I was doing in the 80s, but I can't tell you what I've been doing the last couple of years because it just it all rolls together. But it's been a while, and it's been too long.
Well, it's great to be here because tell folks a little bit that aren't maybe familiar with the statewide audience, where you guys are at now. You're in a beautiful location. You moved here, I guess, after Civic Media bought it.
Well, 2 years ago, actually. We were still in the old place for about a year after Civic Media bought it. So it's actually almost 2 years to the day. It was in October of 2023.
Oh, wow.
So it's I should have said we're celebrating our second anniversry here. Then we could have had a good excuse to be here.
We'll call it that.
But we are downtown, and it's wonderful because our old place was sort of off the edge of town, over heading east towards Anago, and it's sort of the edge of town. It never felt like we were in the energy of what downtown is about. And here downtown, so often there'll be a show at the Grand or something else going on, and we had the construction that's been going on for the last 2 years, Foundry on 3rd, which has its grand opening coming up on November the 1st. So it's just it's an energetic place to be. We got the 400 block, which is a great staging area for summer concerts and big events that are going on downtown. Some good restaurants here in downtown. So again, it's been a real positive for us to be downtown the last 2 years.
Well, WXCO, in my opinion, Chad, really epitomizes our founder Sage Wiles' vision, which is putting community first, being involved in the community, reporting news in the community, reporting high school sports, being integrated into the community. I don't know. I mean, I visit a lot of our different network stations. I don't know anybody does it better than you and XCO. Tell folks a little bit about some of the local programming you do here, including your involvement with high school sports.
Yeah, we in the mornings we have our WXCO morning report, and I bring in folks talk a lot about different events. A few political folks as well, but we try to keep it where we try to make it a broad swath of what's going on here in the Wausau area. So it's a wonderful opportunity to talk to a lot of great folks. We have some other specialty programming. We have the Wausau Business Show, which is a wonderful show that people love on Saturday mornings that explores some of the business stories going on here in the Wausau area, and a couple of very talented guys who put a lot of energy and a lot of effort into that. We do our big high school sports show I did last night, Wednesday nights, where we bring in student athletes and coaches every week and talk about what's going on in high school sports, and it's really a lot of fun. I love having the opportunity to sit down for long-form interviews with kids, and so often it'll be the first time that they have a long-form interview, and so often they'll come in a little bit nervous, and then all of a sudden after about 2 or 3 questions, you can tell that they've really relaxed, and I've not had one, and that's my goal. I've never had one that has said afterwards, "Boy, I wish I didn't come." And that's wonderful. And then we are covering high school sports, and here in the fall, we've been covering Wausau West, Wausau East, and Newman Catholic High School football, and we're heading into the final weekend of the regular season for 11-player, and 8-player, which is Newman Catholic, starts their playoffs on Saturday afternoon. So it's a very exciting time in terms of our sports coverage as well.
We're speaking with Chad Holmes, who's the general manager here of WXCO, one of our great stations here in the great city of Wausau. What do you prefer? Do you prefer central Wisconsin, north central? Because Highway 29, there's a big debate what's north and south. But what do you tell people what part of the state you're from? What do you say?
I tell it north central. I think we're just a little bit above. I think you could get away with central Wisconsin, but for whatever reason, I've always been a little bit towards the north central aspect. I get the sense. I think we're the gateway to the north here. Yeah.
I love that. I think you're right.
I think once you get past north of Wausau, that you're getting north. And I mean, it's real. And often I'll be traveling for games and stuff. Once you get past Wausau, you get to Merrill and Tomahawk, and then it's really as you get into northern Wisconsin.
Well, I've told this story in the air. The quick version is that my dad and stepmom live in Shawano, and my sister and brother-in-law and their family live in Eau Claire. Mm-hmm. So I travel 29 quite a bit, and about a year ago, and I don't know, I was listening to music or something, and I got into Wausau, and I thought I was on my way to Eau Claire, and before I know it, it says Tomahawk, 20 miles away. I've taken a drastic.
I know exactly where you went wrong there. I know exactly what happened there. You made it all the way to Tomahawk before you realized it.
Almost.
Holy cow!
I know.
I could only imagine the look on your face when you realized that you were went an hour north of. You made for a long trek to Eau Claire.
It was a very long trek, and I called my sister and I started the conversation by saying, "I am a complete idiot."
I know the feeling.
Talk to us, Chad, if you would, for a couple of minutes. I mean, you're from this region. It's a beautiful driving up today from Waukesha. Boy, you get to just north of Stevens Point, and the colors are really changing up here. Ski industry, tourism industry. There's so much to offer here in north central Wisconsin.
It really is, and one of the things that we worry about recently is we got to have snow.
Right.
The last couple of years, it's been really tough where the snow just is not coming at the same level because we do have the highest point in Wisconsin. Rib Mountain State Park is the highest point. They have the Granite Peak Ski Hill. That's been continuing to grow. In fact, I know they're planning on expanding even further. And obviously, you have the opportunity for fake snow, but at the same time, you want the real stuff.
Right.
But no, wintertime, we have so much going on. And again, during the summer, I mean, boy, it's beautiful when you go by the river here in central Wisconsin. You got kayaking. I mean, it's really fantastic. So, but I think that a lot of folks come to do the skiing in the wintertime. And in fact, I've heard that even our boss Sage comes up here once in a while with his family to take advantage.
He's a big ski guy.
So it's like I just love the fact that he comes with his family and says, "Hey, this is a place we'd like to spend a little time in."
I think it's a beautiful part of the state. As I said, I've spent a little time up here. My youngest godson worked for one of the big industries up here in the heating and cooling industry. There's like commercial cooling, and he was up here for a while. He really loved it. He hadn't spent time here, but he lived pretty close to downtown, not very far from where you have the farmers market. And I think too often those of us maybe from the southern part of the state or other parts of the state, Wausau is just like old paper mills and trees or whatever. But it's really a vibrant, diverse economy here in this north central part of the state.
It is, and it's a challenge. I think that, we had the challenge of, what we right behind us was where the old Wausau Center Mall was for so many years. As I grew up, that was the place. We'd hang out at the Wausau Center Mall. It's like, and then all of a sudden it went away, and there was questions on what we're going to do, and it took a little while for this to come up, but it's very exciting here to see the renovation of this part of downtown, to see how this will ultimately, I think, spark again some development, and we're very lucky to have a very active downtown. If you walk around here, downtown, there's so much to offer in terms of different kind of businesses and food and a whole bunch of great stuff. Again, when you have a vibrant downtown, I just think that is so vitally important. And we got the Grand Theater, which is have a huge renovation starting next year. Their second century campaign. It is such an amazing place to see a show. We got to go to the Grand and see a show. You normally have to go to a place like Minneapolis or Chicago. Yeah. So we're very, very lucky in that respect. So whether it's leisure or sports, so much really to offer here in central Wisconsin. Yeah,
it really is. And I encourage people, if you've never taken the trip up to this part of the state, do it. Because, as someone who grew up in Wisconsin, the more I travel and the opportunity with this job even, I always learn something new every time I go to a new city, a new part of Wisconsin. And being down Waukesha last night, Zommers and I saw this new film, No Packers, No Life, where Japanese fans come from Japan to Green Bay for a Packer game. And one of these guys in the film, I'm not going to ruin anything, but he's looking out the window the first night in the car, the first night he arrives, and they drive by Lambeau, and he says, "I want to live here." And it's so touching because I just think those of us who did grow up here, I think too often we take things for granted, and we don't realize the blessings and the beauty and the resources that are right outside our door.
You're exactly right, and I pretty much lived my whole life here, and it is amazing that I think it has pretty much anything that a person would want. And I've never felt that. I've gone away for short periods of time, but always have come back. And I think that a lot of people feel the same way, that pretty much anything that you'd want to live a well-rounded life, I think you can find right here in the Wausau area.
No, I totally agree. We're going to do a little business, as they say. When we come back, we'll talk to Chad a little bit about Wausau making the news politically here recently.
Breaking news last night.
Breaking news. We'll talk a little bit about that with Chad Holmes. We also might talk about the answer to the age-old question: when to hold them, when to fold them, and when to run. The poker player that Chad Holmes is.
Boy.
And who knows? Who knows what else? Maybe we'll talk. Well, you're a big baseball fan.
Yeah, I tell you, it's.
Are the Brewers going to get it done tonight?
They're going to win today.
I agree with you, actually.
I think they're going to win today.
Yeah, you can hear that game starting. In fact, part of our listeners are going to step away at 4:30 for the pregame show, and we'll tell you when and where you can listen to that. The pregame show is at 4:30. The Brewers play Game 3 starting just after 5 o'clock on select stations across Civic Media. We hope yours is.
I was going to say that. I'm hoping that's really selected.
You'll let it in line. We'll come back at WXCO in Wausau after this. It's the Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. I forgot to ask, is your headset volume okay?
Yep, everything's great.
All right. We don't have to belabor it, but I just think because it was in the news last night with the mayor and,
absolutely.
what was going on
I think
there.
it's important too.
Yeah.
It's
And I
important
think-
that they made a decision. I think something that I think also needs to be said is that this committee, this ethics committee, is not a committee of members of the council. These are citizen people that are part of this committee, and they had a lot of pressure on them. The mayor put a lot of pressure on them, a lot of pressure to say, well, it's going to go away. No, they fought that and they made a decision, and I think they deserve a lot of credit for that.
Yeah,
It's not
agree.
easy.
No, absolutely agree.
And frankly, I just think I don't really even care if there's anything else to it. That's the fact that they said we should have done it.
Right.
Because you needed to say that, because there's going to be another election coming up.
Right.
I mean, and there have been some people that say, "Oh, yeah, you guys just want to run him out of office." No, it's never about running him out of office. It's about just saying, "Hey, he should not have done it."
Accountability.
Accountability, exactly.
Our mayor terms 2 or 4 years up here.
4 years.
4 years, all right. It's like a couple of years left.
Oh, they never end. I tell you, it's like the presidential term. It's like, man, there's so much time left. It's only been like a year and a half. So yeah, about 2.5 more years. Because it'll be the spring of 2028.
Wow. Seems like a long way away right now.
It is a long way away. I think Ron Johnson's going to run again.
Oh, no. I wouldn't put it past him.
He's getting crazier by the day.
Right. I mean, he already broke his pledge, so at this point, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. And it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, the other day I saw him on TV and he's talking about, how he wants to work with people like Cash Patel and I mean,
30
all those.
All right. Thanks, Summers. I know. It's crazy.
Luck be a lady tonight. Luck be a lady tonight. Luck if you've ever been a lady to begin with. Luck be a lady tonight.
You don't have to take a risk. You don't have to sit at the table. You don't have to spin a wheel. All you got to do is tune into 98.9 FM or 1230 AM on your radio dial when you're up here in beautiful north central Wisconsin to WXCO here, Bull Falls Radio in Wausau, Wisconsin, where you're more than likely to hear the great Chad Holmes, who is the general manager of the aforementioned WXCO in Wausau. He joins us at the table right now. We are live on location here at the beautiful studios of WXCO downtown for the big open house. Stop by, see us, say hello. And Chad, you guys have some hors d'oeuvres. Mm-hmm. You have some cake here. Thank you.
It's good stuff. We connected with the Mint Cafe just down the road here. We got some great.
We went to lunch there last time I was
here.
here.
Yes, we did. Wonderful place, isn't it?
It is a great place.
I love that place.
It's fantastic.
It is fantastic. I got to say, though, I can't take my eyes off this screen that you have in front of me because it looks like we are the 6 o'clock news team here. I'm Chad Holmes.
And I'm Todd Allbaugh.
Got Jimmy Jam with sports and Thunder Dave with the weather.
Thunder Dave. That's fantastic.
I just keep looking at this thing.
Right. We make a pretty good broadcasting team here on camera, at least.
I think it works.
Real quickly, I mean, you've been in broadcasting for a long. Where did you get your start?
I started at UW Eau Claire. That's the first time I ever did radio. I was at the campus radio station. I was the sports director there. Did a alternative music shift, and I loved it. It was so much fun. College radio was so much fun because you don't have to worry about advertising.
100%.
You don't have to worry about that bottom line.
A couple. I mean, what years were you at Eau Claire?
I graduated in '94. So I started here in Wausau at the University of Wisconsin Marathon County, which is the way I will always call it.
Right.
And then I went to UW Eau Claire to finish off for 2
because I was at Platteville about the same time. So you were calling Kenny Anderson games, and I was calling Bo Ryan games.
I got
at
a
the same
tape.
time.
I got an audio tape. That's one of my favorite possessions. My first year broadcasting in the Platteville was coached by Bo Ryan. Ken Anderson was in his last year at Eau Claire. Bo was going for his 200th win. Zorn Arena was packed. It was a game that went down to the last second. I get goosebumps thinking about it. It was like the first time I did a game where I felt like, hey, I think I can do this. It was so much fun. I mean, it was like, and then and as years went by, as Bo then had all of his success at Wisconsin, it became even bigger and bigger.
Zorn Arena, I believe the only place that Bo either never or only won a couple of times.
It was a fancy, and they were the favorite that night because Eau Claire kind of taken a little bit of a dip down at that point, but Eau Claire won it. They had a chance to win on a shot with about 3 seconds to go, and I can still hear the crowd. When Zorn was packed, that noise was amazing.
I was in the building as well, not quite as memorable for me. But anyway.
Were you there that night?
Yeah.
That's the very night.
Yeah.
A guy named Nicolette scored the game-winning basket for
you're right.
Claire.
I forgot.
And R.A. Caves missed the shot for Platteville.
Yes.
I remember.
I forgot R.A. That's great. Yeah, my old broadcasting partner Kevin O'Connor and I were there. That was a memorable
I was up.
evening.
Were you on?
We were down the corner.
We had this
because Eau Claire always put us down in the corner.
We had this
on
thing
the
up
floor.
against the wall
Yeah.
It's like above where people walked in. It wasn't the greatest spot, but it was. Boy, those are memories. Those are
Old home week here for
There you
Chad
go.
and Todd on the old.
and I hope R.A. Caves is listening today.
I'm sure he is. Chad, got a couple minutes here. Give us the quick lay of the land. Wausau made some news. There was a mayoral change here in Wausau a year and a half ago or so. The current mayor set it up and tell us what the news
Well,
is.
Doug Denny is the mayor of Wausau. He defeated Katie Rosenberg last spring, and he ran and he came in here, talked to me, and said, "Hey, we're going to be sort of a CEO." Katie was getting involved in some areas you shouldn't get involved in, actually trying to lift people up. Can't have that. We need to be we're focusing on just being a CEO. Stay in your lane. Well, then he almost immediately in September of last year decides to put on the hard hat, put on the vest, go out there with his dolly and take away a Dropbox. And he took it into his office, and for 7 days it was in his office. A lot of people were upset because he was not supposed to do that. He was told he was not supposed to do that.
Just to be clear, this is a Dropbox, not a mailbox, but an official voter Dropbox that he held in his office. Go ahead.
Right, and he was told by city attorney and others that this is not your decision because the Wisconsin Supreme Court had said Dropboxes were legal. But he claimed that it was an unsecured Dropbox. So he was just going to be safe. But he brought out the camera and had the pictures taken because big event here. So then there was a ethics complaint, and it dragged and dragged and dragged and dragged. And finally, in the last month or so, a couple of the final depositions were held. And then last night, the ethics committee, which is a committee in the city of Wausau, which citizens sit on. It's not a bunch of the members of the Common Council. But they made their decision that Doug Denny did violate the ethics laws in Wausau, and that they put out the specific ethics rule that he broke, and that finally we got a decision on that, and the mayor said, well, and I'll give him credit. He didn't say, "Oh, that was wrong." He said, basically, I'm glad we're able to move past this. I would have liked to have said, I'm sorry.
Well, apologies.
Right, but he didn't. But at least he didn't pull a Trump in this case,
Right.
because that's the thing that frustrated me. Because in talking to him, he came across as a reasonable guy, a conservative, but I can live with conservatives. I mean, we have different points of view. Yeah. It's the MAGA aspect that it felt like that was a MAGA move to me. Right. That he was not going to be a Trump-like figure. That's what he was saying. And then he pulls that and basically implies that, again, that our elections are not secure. And it's poisoning the water to me. It's like, that's the bad aspect of it. But the decision was made, and I just think that it's good that we got a decision on it because we have other elections coming. We'll have Dropboxes again coming. Right. So now the mayor knows, don't do that. Let's not do that. And also, I give a lot of credit to those citizens. They went through a lot. There was pressure.
On the commission.
Yep. Yeah. There were pressure put on by supporters of the mayor. Hey, there's nothing wrong here. Stop doing this. Let's get rid of this investigation. They kept doing it. They kept working to get these depositions, get the evidence, and made a decision. So I give them a lot of credit.
Yeah, I think it is, as you said, in this case, citizenry government worked well, and at least hopefully, as the mayor said, it can move forward.
I agree. I hope that we can move forward and that we can start governing and do it in as good a way possible to come together.
Chad Holmes, thank you very much for being here. Maybe a little bit of poker talk later on, but thanks for being our host here today.
Absolutely.
Come on back. We'll recombobulate with Dan Schaefer after this.
Farm news that impacts you and
Do
your
I make it,
community.
Zommers, or not? I
The
couldn't
Midwest
hear the
Farm
music
Report
very well.
throughout
Sorry.
the day.
That's because it was over.
92.7
Cut you off at it was at the end of a sentence. It wasn't at the end of
No,
what you were saying.
but what I'm saying, what I'm saying is I didn't hear the music come up in the headphones till the very end. So I didn't know if I
gotcha.
need to turn it up further or what.
I think I probably just didn't turn it up enough. It's a
right.
quieter song than I thought. So
All right,
that's
yeah.
my bad there.
Probably just that's fine. No worries. All right, thank you, Chad.
Absolutely.
Want to come back on?
Yeah, if you need anything, let me know.
All right.
I'm around. So.
All right, cool. Thank you. Appreciate you. Dan Schaefer.
Todd Allbaugh.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing all right. Thank you. I'm losing my voice a little bit, but otherwise I'm doing fine.
Oh, it's a good thing you don't have a job that involves your voice too much.
Exactly.
So what are we starting with?
You want to start Brewers or do you want to start 7th Congressional District?
Let's start Brewers.
All right, sounds good. I think that's a good place to start. We're talking baseball, Brewers all the way.
Brian Keel, executive director of the Farmers for Free Trade in Westby, Wisconsin yesterday. The Farmers for Free Trade.
How are you feeling about things, Dan? Are you feeling positive? Well, we'll wait. We'll wait till we come back. We'll have this discussion on the air.
Yeah. Don't step on it in the break here. We gotta give this one for the listeners.
I often do, I step on it a lot,
Better than stepping in it. So
Yes, I do have my NLCS koozie.
Nice. Were you at either of the first two games?
By luck, I ended up being at both of them.
Oh wow!
Because this guy that's involved in the Brewers or Packers, well, both of them actually, the movie, they're in town for the No Packers No Life premiere, and he calls me at 6:00 on Monday, and he's like, "Hey, quick question." He's like, "You want to go to the game?" I said, "Are you serious? What do you mean?" A long story short, I'll simply say his ticket got upgraded for him and his son, who he bought tickets for. So he's like, "I have one of the guys on my production team that could use one. Do you want to drive down?" I'm like, "I'm there." So I got there like the top of the second inning. So
nice.
I got to go free that night, and then a buddy of mine, he and his wife and daughter and I been to a couple of games, and then. So we found tickets online. It's way up like at the 400 whatever on the third base line, but you're in the building for 160. So because I thought at the time that hey, I've never been to like a playoff game.
Yeah,
did do it once, and then I got to go twice. So
fun stuff.
It was the end. Just to be in that energy, that was super cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Did you go to either one?
Haven't been to a playoff game yet, no. Not this year. The last time I was at playoffs games was the 2011 run. So
that was a great year. Those are great years. 2011, 2018. I think they could do it. I think they could win tonight.
Love the optimism.
They just said they just announced Ashby, so maybe a bullpen game again tonight. I don't know. Maybe Ashby and then 4 innings of Miz.
That was my guess. Yeah.
30 seconds.
Gracias. Don't say that at a Brewer game where somebody will try to call ice on you. That woman, that Karen, she's been canceled.
Well, she got fired.
She did get fired.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
There is a fifth dimension beyond that which is known to man.
Milwaukee's best.
It's a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity.
Hey, man, what about Milwaukee, man?
It is the middle ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition.
I think God would want us to go to Milwaukee.
And it lies between the pit of a man's fears and the summit of his knowledge.
What do you think about Milwaukee?
This is the dimension of imagination. You are now entering the recombobulation area.
I mean, we need a recombobulation area.
Welcome back, everybody. Everyone needs a recombobulation area. Welcome back. It's 35 minutes now past the hour of 2 o'clock. We're on location here at WXCO, our great station here in north central Wisconsin. It is 98.9 FM, 1230 on the AM dial, WXCO Bull Falls Radio. Glad to be here with you, and always glad to spend some time recombobulating. You know there's only one voice on the other side of that intro. It is Civic Media's political editor, the founder of the recombobulation area, Mr. Dan Schaefer, who joins us from his beloved Milwaukee via StreamYard. Dan, how are you?
I'm doing well, Todd. Thank you for having me here on the Todd Allbaugh Show. Always wonderful to join you here and chop it up a little bit in these discombobulating times.
Very discombobulated, very much so. And I'm going to start, Dan, because I am discombobulated slightly as a Brewers fan because we've dropped, not we, but the Brewers have dropped a couple down 0-2 in the NLCS. They fly out or are in Los Angeles. Game 3 kicks off the pregame at 4:30 here, and the first pitch from Chavez Ravine, as they say, just after 5 o'clock here this afternoon. Folks can hear it on WRCE in Richland Center, WISS in Oshkosh, WRJN in Racine, Kenosha, WCQM in Park Falls, and WBZH in Hayward. No bigger Milwaukee fan than Dan Schaefer. Give me the lay of the land, Dan. How do you feel about Game 3?
Boy, it's starting the series going up against two generational pitching performances is a tough way to start when you're going up against the behemoth that is the Los Angeles Dodgers. And so hopefully our average Joes, the Milwaukee Brewers, can get it together for this game down 2-0. You know, in my group chat with my group of friends who watched a lot of sports together. We got together on Saturday to watch the end of the Brewers Cubs Game 5. But there's a lot of anxiety. But there's also, we're all thinking back to the Milwaukee Bucks run 4 years ago, right, where they were down 2-0 against the Brooklyn Nets and came back and won, and then also were down 2-0 against the Phoenix Suns and came back and won. So hopefully the Milwaukee Brewers can follow a similar path and prove to be as resilient as those Bucks were 4 years ago.
You can't say crew in 6 if you don't lose a couple.
That's right. That's right. You can't win in 6 without losing 2. So just, yay, they're at the end of the day, and I think, you know, I don't know if it was Pat Murphy or somebody else who's saying this today in one of the press conferences, but they're still 4 wins away from the World Series. 100%. Like, they're still absolutely right there. It's 4 wins. It's baseball. Anything can happen. So, I think we were just talking during the break here, Aaron Ashby getting the start here for the Brewers. I think we'll get the left-hander to go against Ohtani and Freddie Freeman in the first inning, and then, you know, potentially just not unlike what we saw against the Cubs, going to Jacob Mizorowski or perhaps Chad Patrick or one of the other right-handers to get through the next stretch of the game here. But I got to think this one with everything on the line, they got to go absolutely all in to win this game tonight.
And those Dodger fans, they're going to be stuck in LA traffic at 3 in the afternoon. So I mean, they're not.
That's right.
They're not going to be there. All right,
That's right.
more. Again, we'll talk a little bit more on the show here on the Milwaukee Brewers taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers. Some of our stations will cut away at 4:30 for the pregame show. First pitch just after 5 o'clock. Dan Schaefer, Civic Media's political editor and founder of the Recombobulation Area, joins us in this half hour. We are live in Wausau at WXCO Studios here. And by the way, you can find all of Dan's work and many others at start out with the recombobulationarea.news. The recombobulationarea.news. Dan, we're here in Wausau, one of my favorite parts of Wisconsin, north central Wisconsin, if you will. And recently there was some political news up here about, the 7th Congressional District. Tom Tiffany, Republican, currently represents it. He has announced he's not going to seek re-election there in order to run in the Republican gubernatorial primary. And I think a lot of folks were saying, well, this is all said and done. Another Republican's going to take this seat. But a little news, Dan Schaefer, that the Democrats might have a chance up here.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting race. An open seat always makes for an interesting race. Incumbency is such a powerful factor in Wisconsin politics, and without Tiffany running for re-election there, it's going to open things up a little bit. And it's going to be interesting to see who is ultimately the Republican candidate in that race as well, because we know candidate quality matters. You talked about the Democrat who is running in that race. He has some experience, but the Republican race got some news this week when Senate President Mary Felskowski, Republican, said that she is not going to be running for higher office. She has been, talked about as a potential candidate, not just for Congress, for Tiffany's seat, but also for governor. Her name came up in those conversations as well. She's from Tomahawk in the 12th district. And so she announced this week that she was not going to be running. I thought, I wrote a kind of too early preview of the governor's race. And I thought that if Tiffany got in, that she might step up to run for Congress, because 5 years ago, when Tiffany was a state senator and took that step up to run for Congress, it was Felskowski who took the step up from the assembly to run for Senate. So I thought, perhaps we could see something similar there. And then Felskowski making the news this week that she is going to be remaining in her post in the state Senate. Obviously a pretty prominent position there. But I think that, opens it up to, some lesser known candidates to potentially jump in on the Republican side. So far, the only candidate who is declared on the Republican side is named Jessie Eben. She also ran for Congress a few years ago in the 3rd congressional district, and she is now she has since moved closer to family in the 7th congressional district, and she has launched her candidacy there. But I think the one name that people are wondering about in this district on the Republican side is a gentleman by the name of Michael Alfonso, who is a relative political unknown, but he also happens to be the son-in-law of former congressman and now U.S. Secretary of the Department of Transportation, Sean Duffy. So will the connections there prove to be an integral factor in that primary, perhaps, if he does indeed launch a bid there?
Like many things in Trump land, they like to keep it in the family, as they say. So we'll see if Sean Duffy's son-in-law runs for that. Let's talk a minute, Dan Schaefer, on the Democratic side. Former state representative Fred Clark, who represented the area in southwest Wisconsin in the state assembly, he has since relocated, not for this race, but to northern Wisconsin, going to be I think probably the most likely Democratic nominee in the 7th Congressional District. This guy, I got to know former Representative Clark a little bit when I worked in the legislature for Dale Schultz. He's the real deal, in my opinion. He's very down to earth. He's a hunter. He's a conservationist. He really, part of the reason he's up here is because he's a forester. I think he fits this district really well and is about as good a candidate as the Democrats could put up here.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right about that. I know you like a fellow conservationist running for office, and it's good to know that you've got some knowledge of his background, and I think the fact that he's got some experience in the legislature and the state legislature level certainly helps him in this kind of bid. But this will be a tough district. This is a district that won, I think, about 60% for Donald Trump in the presidential election last year. So it's tough sledding thing for any Democratic candidate. But here's the thing with that, though. I think as we saw last year with Kristen Lyerly running a really strong campaign in the 8th congressional district. Again, she didn't win, but I think her candidacy helped lift up a lot of the other candidates throughout the whole district. I think it really helped. There was a lot of wins up and down the ballot in the Fox Valley and northeastern Wisconsin, and I think a similar dynamic could play out as well. And even if Clark doesn't prevail in this race, I think it could help candidates in different parts of the district, like where you are broadcasting from right now in central Wisconsin. So I think these things have, even if it's not running to have the absolute best chance of winning a deep red district, it's something that can help up and down the ballot. And I think a candidate like Fred Clark can really help throughout the whole congressional district and not just his own race.
Talking to Dan Schaefer, Civic Media's political editor and founder of the Recombobulation Area. You can find all his work at therecombobulationarea.news. Dan, let's pick up on what you were saying there. This part of the state, I think for those of us maybe that are more connected to the Madison media market, or for those folks who are connected to the Milwaukee media market, everybody thinks that, that's where all the action is. But speak about this, because nobody puts together a primer on political elections better than you at the Recombobulation Area. And this part of the state, how important it is politically, to this point that having Fred Clark on the ballot, perhaps at the top-ish of the ticket for Congress. You had Katie Rosenberg, who was a very popular Democratic, well, unofficially or officially nonpartisan, but she was seen as a rising star here in Wausau as mayor, got beat last time. You had Katrina Shanklin, a rising star in the Assembly in Stevens Point area, not too far from here, lost a primary to Rebecca Cook for Congress. But this part of the state, Dan, we see Donald Trump flying into the Mosinee Airport just down the road. How many times? Talk to folks about why that's so important politically, this part of the state.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think, so many people think of Wisconsin as these, larger blue cities in Milwaukee and Madison, and then a sea of red throughout the state. Well, I think that really oversimplifies how complex and nuanced different parts of the state can be. And I think a lot of the, kind of more mid-sized cities in the state of Wisconsin have shifted towards Democrats in recent years. I think a lot of the more rural and ex-urban areas have gotten significantly more red, and you see that in a lot of the trends in the 7th Congressional District in central Wisconsin, north central Wisconsin. But you also have cities like Wausau, you have, and throughout the Fox Valley, throughout western Wisconsin, these cities that are kind of in the population range of like 20 to maybe 80,000 people. Those cities have shifted pretty significantly towards Democrats in recent election cycles. And, the 85th Assembly District, currently represented by Patrick Snyder, that was, a fairly close election last year. I think he won it by about 6 points. But I think, people think of these parts of the state maybe as being, Trump winning them by 20. And that's the case in some counties or whatever. But I think some of these, mid-sized cities in the state, and Wausau certainly among them, are a lot more swingy than people might expect. So I think for Democrats, you want a candidate that's going to be able to be competitive in those parts of the state too, when you look at the statewide calculus.
A couple of minutes left here, Dan, but to that point, you look at Highway 29 goes east and west, Green Bay to Eau Claire, basically, and then you have Highway 8 goes east to west, just above that, and those areas. Is it true or not that people like Tony Evers, especially, but maybe to a lesser degree Tammy Baldwin, the way they've won Wisconsin is not necessarily winning every county up here, but they're able to shrink the margin of defeat, and that offsets their bigger gains in other parts of the state. But without the gains here in total votes in the statewide election, you can't win.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, Evers has been strong with that. Baldwin especially, I think, last year's election for her was certainly the toughest of her political career, but she outran the top of the ticket in many northern and western counties across the state, and that helped her win at a time when Donald Trump also won on the same ballot.
Back to Recombobulate more with Dan Schaefer on the other side. We're live from WXCO in beautiful Wausau. Back after this on the Civic Media Radio Network. Fantastic. Where do you want to go when we come back?
Well, I feel like since we're talking a little bit of like the northern Wisconsin politics, there's been a lot of stuff happen today for the state Senate races.
I saw that Jeff Smith and Jesse James.
So yeah, Jesse James announced, Romaine Quinn announced, and another guy named Eric Severson also announced for state Senate. All three announcements came today, so we could talk about that.
I hadn't heard the last two. So
I was walking and grabbing some food, and I heard some people talking about Jesse James on the street here on State Street in Madison, and they were like, "Oh, he's a nice guy." And like swearing a bunch. Like, what the hell does that mean? You don't vote for people because they're a nice guy. And I'm thinking to myself, a lot of people do actually.
But
that's a good man on the street interviews. That's some color for today.
But how close is Jesse James to that district in the assembly? Because for some reason I thought his district was in the Fox Valley.
No, he was in
Eau Claire, right?
No, he was in northwestern Wisconsin. I have a map in front of me. 1 second here.
I can't keep track of these maps anymore. This is why, folks, watching the stream, exactly why we have Dan Schaefer to help us to recombobulate.
So yeah, James was in the 23rd, which was just north of the 31st, which is where he's going to be running against Jeff Smith. So neighboring district. He was kind of drawn in to just with the redistricting. I think he lived in Altoona, he said. And so he lived in the 31st district. And I don't know. It's all very complicated. But
it's true.
Yeah. So he was able to serve the remainder of his term because he was elected in 2022. But then, with the redistricting that happened early last year, he didn't, he had to have some sort of presence in the 23rd district. So that, 23rd district is deep, deep red. It's like a Trump plus 30 district. And the 31st is slightly Democratic with Jeff Smith representing it. So that's going to be a tough race.
Zomers, we have a caller from Wausau on the line?
No, that was earlier. They were asking an off-air question.
Oh, okay, got it. All right, thank you.
And its decisions have favored the legislature in recent years. The U.S. Supreme Court has ruled that federal courts have no role in partisan gerrymandering disputes. Action on a new congressional district map will begin the week of October 20th. We have local reporting linked at AmericanDemocracyMinute.org. I'm Brian B.
America is kept safe because protects and supports our nation when it needs them most. The Army National Guard responds to disasters such as
30 seconds.
Gracias. Dan Schaefer, State of Mind. Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. We're live on location at WXCO, beautiful Wausau, Wisconsin. Speaking with the one, the only Dan Schaefer, the political editor of Civic Media and the founder of the Recombobulation Area, a connoisseur of music, Milwaukee way of life, the Bucks, the Brewers. If it's Milwaukee, it's the state of Wisconsin. If it's politics, it's Dan Schaefer. Welcome back, everybody. You can find all of his work, by the way, at the Recombobulation Area .news. The Recombobulation Area .news. All right,
there's also one more new way to find some of my work as well.
What is
you can subscribe to our brand new Substack newsletter for Civic Media. It's called Civic Media Today. I write many of those intros. I edit the newsletter. So if you enjoy my work at the Recombobulation Area or my appearances here on the Todd Allbaugh Show, go check out Civic Media Today and subscribe. That one's free as well.
free as well. And I'm excited because big news as part of Civic Media today, we got Katie Couric. So I think that's really big. I think that's fantastic. She's back on today.
That would help us out a little bit. Yeah.
All right, we're here in Wausau, Dan Schaefer, northern part of Wisconsin, and nobody helps us recombobulate better than you because news is coming fast and furious here in the. I know we're a little bit east of northwest Wisconsin, but still northern Wisconsin politics. Go ahead.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of announcements today about races in 2026 in the northern part of the state and many of the state Senate districts. So as I mentioned in the last segment, State Senator Mary Felskowski announced about her political future, that she's not going to be running for Congress, is going to be staying in the 12th Senate district. There are also a number of other announcements today kind of following that domino. So one of them is Jesse James, who is currently a state senator in the 23rd district, is going to be running in the 31st Senate district against Democratic incumbent Jeff Smith. So that will be a race because of the redistricting. James announced today with the headline on his campaign announcement, all caps, "I'm coming home!" To run in his 31st Senate district where his family lives in Altoona.
What was that song from American Idol, "I'm Coming Home," or whatever, when they got voted off? Wasn't that? Remember that? Anyway, go ahead.
So he announced that he's going to be moving for current representative of the 23rd. He's going to be running in the 31st. That is a slight Democratic-leaning district. Jeff Smith, Democrat, currently represents that district. It went for Kamala Harris by 2 points last year. So that's certainly going to be a competitive race, pairing potentially two incumbents going against each other in that one. And so with James running in the 23rd, that also opened up the 23rd. And so current state senator Romaine Quinn, now in the 25th, going over to the 23rd, and he's going to be running there. And then the third of these announcements that all came today, former state representative Eric Severson announced his campaign for the 25th district as a Republican as well. So lots of movement this week for Republicans announcing their campaigns for state Senate in the northern part of the state.
Dan, it's all very, very discombobulating.
It is discombobulating. Well, do you know of a place where we could potentially make sense of that in the weeks and months to come?
I've heard it lives in a place called the Recombobulation Area.news. The Recombobulation Area.news.
Yeah, so we're gonna be making sense of that going forward here. But lots of interesting movement there. I think most interesting of those is going to be the race in the 31st. You know, Democrats have a real opportunity to win the majority in the state Senate. They've announced a number of candidates across the state in key races, and I think Republicans are playing a little bit of catch up on the announcement game here. But a flurry of them today, and so it's going to be the 31st. Again, that went for Kamala Harris by 2 points and Tammy Baldwin by 5 points in the fall 2024 election. So we'll be among, kind of on a short list of most competitive races in the state Senate next year.
And Mary Felskowski, the Senate president, and Devin LeMahieu, the majority leader in the state Senate, don't get along real well, from what I hear in the building.
That's what we've been hearing a little bit.
They do not enjoy each other's company, and that is causing a little bit of chaos or chaos in the state Senate.
A little bit of a rift there. They voted on different sides of the budget, which had not happened in a really long time. And yeah, there's some other rumblings too.
Robin Voss, he told Matt Smith up front he is thinking about not running for re-election. I have heard rumblings that he's thinking about running for governor. True or not true?
I would be very surprised. I would be very surprised.
Does he run for re-election in the assembly?
Probably. Yeah.
You think so?
That would be my guess would be that he runs again in the assembly.
I think no. I think he sees the writing on the wall, and he doesn't want to be a part of "quote unquote" failure.
I think he sees himself as like the great defender of Wisconsin becoming blue, and I think he would give himself a better chance to keep that assembly majority with remaining as assembly speaker.
Wow! All right, this is very
That'd
good.
Be my guess.
This is very good. See, this is why I like to have you on, because a little inside scoop stuff. This is great.
And I do think you said you heard rumblings of governor run for him, huh?
That only kind of tangentially. I don't know how serious they are, but I have heard a couple of people that are not. They're somewhat connected who say that he's considering that he's not going to run for re-election in the assembly, but he's because I think there's a lot of feelings that Tiffany is just not really that strong of a gubernatorial candidate. Even with he's going to get through the primary, of course, if he gets Trump's stamp of approval. But somebody like Kelda Royce or David Crowley or whoever you want to put on there, Sarah Rodriguez, going to be a much stronger candidate against somebody like Tom Tiffany versus maybe a Robin Voss.
Voss is not particularly well liked on a statewide level, so I don't know about that. But I do think what Tiffany has trouble with sometimes is fundraising, and Robin Voss has not had problems fundraising. So
he knows how to get the money.
That's true.
he has almost as many wives as thousands of dollars he's raised. But anyway,
you said it, not me.
All right, Dan Schaefer, we appreciate you. You can find him at therecombobulationarea.news. We'll see you in a couple of weeks, Dan.
Thanks, Todd.
All right, stay tuned. A little What's Worse for you next, live from Wausau, WXCO on the Civic Media Radio Network. Nicely done on the music, Summers. That's fantastic.
Well, you mentioned it, so.
That's fantastic.
That's fast work there. Nicely done.
All right, that was fun, Dan. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Let's talk soon.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Shutdown again, now in its third week.
Yeah, those people, like little accidental man on the street interview that I was just listening to, I didn't participate in.
Yeah.
I think they worked at the Capitol or something.
Really? Yeah.
Because they were talking about this person talked to me. It's like, oh no, you can knock on doors for us anytime. Or they said it in that order. Not we'll do it for you, but you can knock on doors for us anytime.
So they were talking to a stranger amongst each other.
The Red Cross says
I think it was amongst each other.
Oh, okay.
But then someone else might have joined in. It was kind of hard to tell exactly, and I didn't want to turn around and.
Summers was trying to eavesdrop.
I was trying to eavesdrop.
All right, I apologize for those in the stream. I'm going to let you know about the WXCO anniversary open house cake.
Sources tell ABC News. Prosecutors in Maryland.
Very good, actually. Very good.
Is it moist?
This is ABC News.
It is a moist cake. That's a good
how
word.
You want it.
It's a very moist cake.
Biking through blizzards since forever. 92.7 WMDX. For 92.7 WMDX News, I'm Savannah.
Also, for those of you on the stream, yesterday at the premiere, we met Jim and
Oh, yes. Look at that. We'll put that up on there.
Staff are working without pay and blames Democrats for the shutdown.
And
how about
Troy,
that? Look at that.
If you're listening, if you can send the pictures you got of everybody, that would also be excellent. We can put it up on the screen.
Oh, all right. Yeah, let me see if you can find that. Send it to your
was it with your phone?
Send it to your email or to your to what?
Email would be good.
Other airports across the country saying it violates the Hatch Act, which prohibits federal employees from participating in politics, especially disparaging.
The thing that was most interesting is I couldn't tell which party they're from. Those people on the street.
Oh, okay, all right.
There's a viral video circulating.
That's what I was really trying to figure out as I was eavesdropping briefly.
A Dodgers fan. Now she's lost her job and resigned from a nonprofit board. A Dodgers fan recorded this video. He says it all started with a little banter between fans as the Dodgers took a 3-1 lead, but it escalated when the woman said, "You know what? Let's call ICE." The man responded by saying he's a U.S. citizen and is a military veteran who served in 2 wars. She then appeared to swing at the camera. He says he called her an expletive and was removed from the stadium. WISN reports the woman is an attorney in Milwaukee and has been terminated. She also resigned from the board of the Make-A-Wish Foundation. The video has been viewed more than 2 million times online. And you'll remember last week we reported that the last hospitalized survivor of the Abundant Life shooting was finally discharged. Sammy Garduno Martinez was shot at least 4 times. He's now at a specialty rehab in Illinois.
Should have him there.
Pardon me. A goal of $210,000 to support him and his family. It hit that goal. Now they've set a new one of $240,000. I'm Savannah Tomei Olson, 92.7 WMDX.
Yelich in a slump. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports baseball. It's the Brewers and the Dodgers tonight in L.A. for Game 3 of the National
Brewers
League
and
Championship.
the Dodgers.
Brewers Christian Yelich looking for his first hit of the series. He's 0 for 7 with a walk and 3 strikeouts. Yelich hasn't had a hit in his last 17 at-bats. And was asked about his performance so far in the postseason.
Not the best, you know. I started out good and then kind of just hit a little bit of a rough patch here the last few games. An unfortunate time for that to happen, but I've got to be better. I got to figure it out, and it's just how it goes.
The Dodgers up 2-0 in the best-of-7 series. NFL, Packers holding practice, preparing for Sunday's game in Arizona against the Cardinals. College football, Wisconsin Badgers have lost 4 in a row, and on Saturday, they host the #1 ranked team in the nation, the Ohio State Buckeyes.
If you're going to go out there and you're going to do anything against #1 team in the country, you can't be held back by, being perfect, because being perfect is not going to get us what we need to get.
That's Badgers head coach Luke Fickell with Sports on Mike Clemens.
You're listening to 92.7 WMDX, Madison's home for the Maggie Dawn Show, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m.
I'm meteorologist Rodney Price. Clouds into your Thursday
Looks
afternoon
like
and a few
Craig
showers rolling
Benzine
through
is
as
getting
well.
set up here.
Oh, cool.
Hello.
Craig, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. Long time no talk.
Yeah. Whew. I barely remember.
Well, I thought the film was fantastic. Sean texted me afterwards. I said, "You guys were talking to people, and you've been so generous with the time. I didn't want to steal it from somebody else. But I thought it was fantastic."
Oh, good. I'm glad you liked it. That was the goal, to make it good. So.
No, it was really, really fantastic, and excited to promo these other activities going on as well.
Great. Yeah. I think Ty's supposed to be here too.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Actually, I don't know for sure.
Well, if he pops in, I'll make sure.
He's the better looking of the two of us. So.
Oh, come on now. You're equally as wonderful and handsome.
Yeah. Wait, are we live right now?
Only on the stream,
stream,
not like over the air, but yes, streaming. Whoever's watching us on the stream can see and hear us.
Cool.
All right, and we have about.
So is the studio chat here, I could comment? That's where people would comment, or no?
Sure. Yeah.
The studio
For those
chat,
watching,
just, we would see that. All right, here we go.
All right.
This is a comment. There. Yeah.
On location, it's the Todd Allbaugh Show.
I'm gonna tweet it out. See if anyone shows up.
And now, pursuing truth wherever it may lead, here's your host, Todd Allbaugh.
Across Wisconsin on the Civic Media Radio Network and streaming worldwide on the Civic Media app. Good afternoon, everybody. Todd Allbaugh here at WXCO in Wausau, Wisconsin, on location, along with Mr. Aaron Zommers, our producer and engineer, back at the world headquarters in Madison, Wisconsin. It is Thursday, October 16th, 2025. It is a great day to be a Wisconsinite. Welcome in, everybody. So glad that you're along with us here in our second hour of the big broadcast from WXCO. That's 98.9 FM and 1230 AM here in Wausau, Wisconsin. WXCO, one of our great stations here in north central Wisconsin. They're having a big open house today. You can see if you're watching this on the stream, people gathering out in the lobby here. We have a wonderful cake, some anniversary cake here from a bakery just down the street. And so stop by. Stay high here until at least 4:30, I think, this afternoon. Stop by, say hello to us and all the great staff here locally at WXCO. Of course, the great Chad Holmes, who does all the high school sports up here. Our new news person at WXCO covering city council, school boards. It's a great community station. It's a part of our News Talk Network stations. So we're so happy and thankful to be here at WXCO in Wausau for this broadcast. So stop by downtown here, beautiful downtown Wausau. Lots going on. So stop by and see us here this afternoon. Coming up here a little bit later, one of our What's Worse questions today. I drove from Waukesha this morning to Wausau. Not too much fog, a little sun. So our question today, what's worse, sun in the eyes while driving or driving through fog? We'll discuss that a little bit later on. And a new segment called, we're calling Wisconsin Fun Facts. That'll be coming up as well. But right now, we are joined by one of the great people of the film that Zommers and I I saw last night called No Packers, No Life at the world premiere down at the Majestic Theater, one of the great Marcus theaters in Waukesha, Wisconsin. We are joined once again, as we were yesterday, by the director, producer of the film, Craig Benzine, via StreamYard. And Craig, thanks very much and congratulations. What a film. Loved every part of it.
Oh, well, thank you very much. The goal was for you to love it, so
we certainly did. I thought the crowd was great. Again, much like Just a Bit Outside, to share it with that packed theater in Waukesha last night in the Majestic Theater with the Marcus Theaters, and to hear people clapping, laughing, becoming emotional in parts. What's that like for you as the director? One of the people that made this film, created this film. What's that like for you to be in a room that size and feel and hear those reactions to something that you created?
Well, I said it yesterday, and this was the second time. The third time that I've experienced this, where I was showing it in a movie theater, and it's the first time it happened. I'm like, oh my, that's right. This is why I'm doing this. This is to hear the reactions, to hear people laugh. And every time it happened, it felt like if you know the feeling you get when you've done your job, well, it's the best. It's what I do it for.
I thought it was great. I thought the crowd was great. They seemed into it. I thought one of the most, beyond the film, I thought one of the most poignant moments of the night, agree or disagree, is afterwards, you and Ty Morris, one of the fellow producers, and I'll say stars of the show, were up there amongst other people. And Mark Cass was a great MC, as he always is, and he brought up former Green Bay Packer Amon Green. And I thought some of the comments of Amon last night, I was blown away. Talk a little bit about that, because he was saying, look, I played in most of my career in Green Bay, but went to places like Texas and for Houston, and they try to recreate the bike ride there. But he really got to the crux that what is in Green Bay, this culture, this team, is just like not like anything else.
Yeah, I was blown away by his comments. He didn't even have to come up and say anything. And he came up and he said a bunch of great stuff about the film and about Green Bay and the uniqueness of Wisconsin fans. And he's the one he has like the best perspective on the whole situation. He witnessed what the fans are like and what it's like to practice in Green Bay, and they pick out bikes and ride kids' bikes, and then he saw in Texas how they tried to do that, and he's like, "Well, you're forming a line? You're forming a long line for these kids? No, you just walk up and you pick." He was saying they try to do what they do in Green Bay and they fail, or when they have practice and they're just kind of running their basic plays, they're not doing anything secret. They just have the fence down, and then fans are just in the stands watching them do basic plays. And it's like, what are you doing here? We're not even doing anything. That's how supportive the fans of Green Bay are. And to hear his perspective from seeing it from the Seahawks and from Texas, it was just really good to hear.
Yeah. We're speaking with Craig Benzine, who is the director, producer of No Packers, No Life. Great film. Opening up Wisconsin here this weekend. Check marcustheaters.com for the local listings and near you. I want to get into where the film goes next, the second, Craig. Mm-hmm. But one more part about the film, and there's no spoiler here, but for me, I think one of the most poignant moments of the entire film was there was a moment when one of the Japanese cheer team folks had just gotten to Green Bay. I think it was night, and they were driving by Lambeau Field, looking out the car, and he says, "Oh, I want to live here." And I don't know why that hit me the way it did, but I think, again, just to hear that from someone, and to us, it's like, yeah, it's cool, but it's Lambeau Field, but it makes you realize what we live with here in Wisconsin, the opportunities, the beauty, the natural beauty, the community. I think I take that too much for granted, and to hear that just awe from someone else, it hit me.
Yeah, I grew up in small town Wisconsin, and I always kind of thought I wanted to live in a big city. I was the opposite of the Japanese Packers cheering team, and I feel like it shows that you can where you come from and where you want to be. It doesn't necessarily matter. Like they I think 3 or 4 of them say they want to live here when in the movie, and I see it from a different perspective. I think that's the whole point of the movie, is that you see things. If you're inside Wisconsin, you see what it's like from an outsider, and then if you're outside Wisconsin, you learn about this magical place called Wisconsin and Green Bay. And I think I actually feel more like I want to live in Green Bay now because of the film.
Yeah. No, I get that, because I came away. I think we talked about this before I saw the film last night, that oftentimes you learn more about yourself when you encounter or talk to people who aren't like you or from a different place than they do. And I think for me, that was my takeaway from the film, just the gratitude that I realized I was missing maybe a little bit after seeing this film. The film was called No Packers, No Life. You can find more about it at nopackersnolife.com, and also where it's going to play next at marcustheaters.com. Craig Benzine, let's talk a little bit about that. You have a couple of events coming up, and let's tell people where those where those are. Yes, I talk for a living. My voice is giving out. I've been on the road a lot this week, Craig.
Yeah, I understand. So tonight we're going to Mequon, just north of Milwaukee, to the North Shore Cinema, and it's at 6:30. The movie plays, and we're doing a Q&A after. And Mason Crosby will be virtually there. He'll be zooming for the Q&A. And then the next night we're going to Green Bay, 6:30 screening at the Marcus Theater, the Marcus Bay Park Cinema. And then on Saturday, back to my stomping ground, we're going to Madison, and to Point Cinema at 6:30 for a Q&A.
I think it'll be great. I hope folks turn out rather. And my understanding is still a few tickets available for those events, and if so, they can purchase them through marcustheaters.com. Is that correct?
Yes. There. And we also have at nopackersnolife.com, our website. If you scroll down, there's some links to those specific screenings.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Mm-hmm. Well, I really hope, much like Just a Bit Outside, that if folks listening across the state, if you want this film to come to your local theater, because it's going to be in southeast Wisconsin, Green Bay, Madison, La Crosse, and trolling Bears fans in Gurnee, Illinois. I love that. But if you want this film to expand, go see it in the theaters where it's at, because that's the only way it's going to keep growing, is if you tell folks about this and you encourage people and you go see it yourself. Then that's how this, look, everything's a business at the end of the day, and we got to show people and just tell people how powerful this film is, Craig.
Yeah, and I really think it's a lot of fun. The movie is funny and just positive vibes. Like, this is probably the most positive while I was making it, I was like, I think I'm making the most positive documentary that exists, because there's no conflict. It's just fun, but you learn new perspectives, new walks of life from the other side of the world.
Yeah, I just think it's a great film. Zommers, let's bring Zommers in. By the way, Zommers, give your Siskel and Ebert there on the film. What was your? You were sitting next to me. What do you think of it?
Yeah, I thought.
I think he's still loading.
Am I showing up for Todd?
You're on mine. Okay. I'm not sure. Craig, are you on? All right, go ahead, Zommers.
Seems to be all right. Working for me. But I stopped by, talked to Sean Hanish briefly before the movie. I had said that it is impossible to watch the trailer without smiling, and he said that's the movie, and I totally agree. I mentioned this also to Craig Benzine after, but I think I do agree. It probably is the most positive documentary that exists, and it feels magical to see all these things, as Todd said, that we take for granted in a whole new light.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Zommers, let's put up, we had, and again, through the team at No Packers, No Life, they gifted us some tickets, and some of our listeners were there last night, and we met them. It was really great. Here's a photo of, we got Jim in Brookfield and his wife, and we got Troy from Mount Horeb and his wife, and Zommers and I there at the world premiere. And I just want to say publicly, Craig, thank you for allowing us to do this, because it truly gave a literal connection to our listeners listeners, and there we are with the oldest and youngest Japanese Packer cheer team members who were there last night. They were huge hits last night, Craig.
Oh yeah, yes. Everybody loves them. They seem to be having a absolute blast.
Yeah, I think they really did. There's Jim and Brookfield, and just they love being there. They love being connected to this film, and those that I talked with afterwards, so they really enjoyed all your work, Craig.
Well, thank you. It's so much fun to finally put this out there and to just to reunite with the people that are in the movie. That I worked on this movie for a long time before I even met them, and some of them. So. To me, a lot of them are celebrities, and I know more about them than they know about me. Yeah,
I forgot to ask you yesterday. Ty has been to Japan several times for business reasons. Have you been there yet? Have you ever traveled to Japan?
Well, yeah, I went to Japan for the movie, so I didn't shoot the.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, I didn't shoot the Green Bay stuff, but I shot the stuff in Japan. So like when they were at that party watching the game. I shot all that stuff and the interviews in Japan. Like Chepo he has a backdrop of the city of Tokyo behind him in the window. Yeah. That was my hotel room.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. The film is amazing as well. See it, No Packers, No Life. You can find out more at nopackersnolife.com and at marcustheaters.com as well. Craig Benzine, director, congrats, bravo, and hope everybody gets out and sees this film.
Me too.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Craig. Back after this.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Thank you, Craig. Great job.
Yeah. I should have made my bed, I think, before I did this.
I did a hit on one of our other shows this morning in a hotel room too. So you do what you have to do.
That's right. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Well,
thank you. Have a great day. Yeah, my pleasure. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wage to $25 an hour, so the opportunity to do more also comes with competitive pay.
And for those of you on the
Learn
stream,
more at
we also zoomed with
bankofamerica.com/25.
other members of the cheer team
Yeah.
right before the movie. For them, it was 8:30 or 8:45
in the morning.
6:40,
right?
Yeah, in the morning.
You have made to
So
choose
that was
from who have
interesting.
served in the assembly, or you can choose the one of us candidate. Hi, I'm Ryan Sternad. I work for a living.
Good old Ryan Sternad. Do you have Jack on the phone yet? Or?
Yes.
All right.
I was just going to type a message, but
All
I'll
right,
tell
cool.
you.
I just saw it in the show chat.
Yeah, he wanted to talk about how great Wausau and that area is and stuff.
Oh, sure. All right, that sounds good.
Landed. That's right. Madison's go-to cannabis destination now has a brand new location in Sun Prairie.
Wait, 4 locations? That's a high level of convenience.
With 3 Madison locations and now Sun Prairie, a great cannabis experience is always close by. Our expert staff is here to help, whether you walk in, call, or order online. Mention Radio 420.
Look up the music on Wisconsin, the official state ballad by Sherry Sarazin. And don't ask me how to spell that. But Wisconsin's official state.
Yeah,
you got it?
Do you want me to play that on the way in?
No, I want to open up Wisconsin. Isn't there a place where she sings like, "Oh, Wisconsin" or something like
Land of
that?
My Dreams, yeah.
Yeah. I want to open up Wisconsin fun facts with that.
Okay, sounds good. All right, about 20 seconds. I'll find that spot.
Pursuing truth wherever it may lead and having fun doing it. Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show on the Civic Media Radio Network. Glad to have you along here. We're live on location at WXCO, Bull Falls Radio, 98.9 FM and 1230 on your AM dial here in north central Wisconsin. It is the second anniversary, basically, of this brand new or the new facilities of the station, WXCO. We're in downtown downtown Wausau. Stop by if you're watching on the stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, X, Twix. You can see right behind me here out in the lobby, we have cake for you. There are some wonderful hors d'oeuvres, got Wisconsin cheese, got vegetables, all kinds of wonderful things out there. So stop by, see the great local team. They're the real heroes here. Chad Holmes does a wonderful job. I have a new news person up here. Also, Chad does all the sports, salespeople. It's a true community station that focuses on news, whether it be city council or school board, covers high school events, helps to get the word out for local community fundraisers as well. WXCO, one of our great stations here in north central Wisconsin. So stop by and say hi to us. I'll be here till at least 5 o'clock, so stop by and say hello. All right, it is coming up here 24 minutes past the hour, 3 o'clock. Very excited for this. We have a brand new segment we're debuting today here on the show. It's called Wisconsin Fun Fact. Here we go.
Oh, Wisconsin, land of beauty, with your hillsides and your plains.
That's right. It's time now for Wisconsin Fun Fact. Here we go. There are no notable events in Wisconsin to report for October 16th. However, on this date in 2019, a maidenhair fern named Pete took the world's first plant-powered selfie at the ZSL London Zoo. The project used electricity generated by the plant to power a camera. And everything about that sentence makes our head hurt. We'll try again tomorrow. And that's Wisconsin Fun Fact. No, come on. I didn't need that.
Okay, sorry.
We wanted to debut it today. There. Yeah. Or we could play a little bit more of the Wisconsin ballad on the way out. We're still it's called workshopping on the air. But here, this is great. These are Wisconsin Fun Facts, but there's just words in it today. As it turns out.
We're doing our best.
We're doing the best we can here. All right. Here's what we could do. Let's go to our one of our great callers because we're here in Wausau talking about this great part of the state. Let's go to the phone lines. Jack in Merrimack has been patiently waiting through our silliness. Jack, thanks for calling in. You're familiar with this part of Wisconsin.
Oh yeah, my old college roommate, rest his soul, he died quite a few years ago now. But anyway, his dad lived up to was the optometrist in Merrill, and I learned to drink good wine and what good wine really is at their place. And in that area, I camped beyond the basic camping that you learn when you are in the Boy Scouts. I mean, it's a great area. Just the beauty of the area is absolutely wonderful. By the way, shout out to some place not that far away from there, which is Shawano, Wisconsin.
Yes.
And I spent my summers, actually, from the time I was probably 4 or 5 until I was a teenager. My grandparents had a cottage on Shawano Lake, and I would fish in the lake. We lived on fish for many of the summers. And fish in the Wolf River, and I lifeguarded on the Wolf River. That whole north and northeastern Wisconsin area is absolutely beautiful. I cannot recommend it highly enough.
I appreciate that, Jack, for calling in and sharing that, because you're so right. And someone who spent time here, as a kid all the way through adulthood like this, and to the point we made earlier, right, that sometimes we forget this, don't we, Jack? That we just think, it's just. But I was driving up here today from Waukesha, and I had a couple of yahoos from Illinois. You know these guys, Jack, that they get right on your tail. I mean, the speed limit's 70 miles an hour, and I was going like 78, and these guys came right up on my tail, and then they passed me the first opportunity and flipped me off. And they got a boat behind them, a fishing boat, not a very nice one, by the way. But I mean, these jackrabbits, they come up here, but we have the privilege of living here every day, Jack, and I don't think we always appreciate that.
That's where the phrase FIB comes from.
That's exactly right. The fibs.
Anyway, one more shout out, and that is be sure you attend the No Kings rally, because I'm 81 and I don't want to die in a fascist country. So attend that No Kings rally and make your feelings about this administration known. Thank you. That's it.
Great reminder. Thank you, Jack. Have a great day. Really appreciate it. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. I know Maggie Dawn comes up after us at 4 o'clock. She's going to have more on this as well, the No Kings rally. And I think going to give some just some tips from a legal standpoint on how to keep yourself safe and enjoy and participate, but what to do if you're going to participate in the No Kings rally here this weekend. For those people listening on WRCE in Richland Center, ISS in Oshkosh, RJN, Racine, Kenosha, CQM in Park Falls, and WBZH in Hayward, you are going to be stepping away over the air at least for Game 3 of the... no, I'm sorry, that's at 4:30.
Yeah, I was wondering if you knew something I didn't.
No, I just can't tell time. That's what it is. But at 4:30, I'm an hour early. I'm an hour early. I'm like a cheap whore. I came early. It's 4:30 is when people will step away, and at 5:08 is when the game will actually start. By the way, a fun fact for October 16th. It's my sister and brother-in-law's anniversary. So happy anniversary, Heather and Mike. Come on back. We got a What's Worse for you live from Wausau on the other side.
You said birthday twice.
I know. You understand? I'm a little exhausted. I'm a little exhausted.
And you're not done. It's only Thursday.
I know. Believe me, I know.
Yeah. Yesterday, Todd finishes packing up all his crap, all of his equipment. Sorry. After the show, by the time I get there, he comes back in and he's like, "All right, I'm going to go get a drink."
And I went up and I had a gin and tonic, and she said, "You want a single or a double?" And I said, "A double."
Through the 26th, with over 200 unique events in more
Was
than
it good?
50 counties.
It was very good, actually.
I know they didn't have the type of gin you were looking for.
This year's theme, rock and roll. Dive into the music, motion, and geology with interactive events. Don't miss the fun. Visit WIScifest.org to find events near you.
Thank you, David in Richland Center.
With American Family Insurance says that clear communication is crucial when it comes to keeping kids safe on the farm.
Big thing with kids is being honest with them and sitting them down and saying, hey, this is a great way of life, the best way of life that you can grow up in. But what we want to really concentrating is keeping you around and keeping you doing these activities. So number one, watch where you're going. Watch when there's equipment around. Do not go behind or underneath those large equipment.
Find the early businessman. Is that it, David? Yeah.
For sure.
Another thing with grain bins, I want to hit on that a little bit. Putting children in grain bins is very dangerous. They don't know all the hazards that can come with that. So keeping them out of those hazard situations, anything with like confined space or bin entry or anywhere that they could have like a slip and fall hazard.
Angela Bunker, the Senior Loss Control Specialist with American Family Insurance. Stick around. I'll have a look at your closing markets right after this.
Don't touch that dial. You are tuned into Whiffle's Country WYFF, the station that's been family-owned and fiercely independent for almost 80 years. No nonsense, just common sense and chart-topping corn hybrids coming to farm gates all over the Central Corn Belt. Stay tuned for more Whiffle's Country hits like She Thinks My Colonel's Sexy, I Got 99 Problems But Yield Ain't One, and Mamas Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Sell Soybeans. Thanks for listening, and remember to keep it independent with Whiffle's Hybrids.
I'm Kylie Allen for the Midwest Farm Report, taking a look at your closing markets this Thursday. From Chicago, December corn closed up 5 at 421 3/4, and November soybeans closed up 4 1/4 at
I don't know why I was thinking that
December wheat
the pregame show was at 3:30. It says right here, I wrote myself a note. It says 4:30.
Wheat contracts closed up 1 1/2 at 540 1/2. Taking a look at the dairy market.
Reading
November
could be a
class
challenge.
remote contracts
Oh,
are
I
For
forgot
all
to
of us.
mention Glitz and Schlitz with Dan Schaefer. I wrote that down. God dang it.
Are trading up 11
Dang
at
it.
16.51.
See, I'm
40-pound
just
ground
not with
beef
it
closed
today.
Up 6 at 176
Cam texts in,
and
didn't
double
think
A
that was
butter
radio
closed down
safe.
4 1/4
Whore and
at
came are indecent
162
language,
3/4.
which I
For the
read
Midwest Farm
because I
Report,
was
I'm
thinking that.
Kylie
I was like, well, of course Todd saved that right for the end, so I can't do anything even if I should have done something about it, which it was
No,
fine.
it's
That wouldn't have
just-
been dumpable.
It's a
but I
play
did
of
have that
words, for
thought.
goodness sake.
I know,
Well,
it's-
if you
it's-
want
it
to
was
see, you
fine.
want to hear some disturbing things, listen to Tom
Thursday
Hartman.
afternoon, and a few showers rolling through as well. Southeast winds on the light side, highs in the mid-60s. Shower chances this evening. Bitter skies will turn partly cloudy.
Tune
lows
in
the
to
upper
my
50s.
program. You can hear
Partly
some
sunny
AI
on the
songs
70s
making
Friday.
fun
That's
of
pretty
your
good.
favorite genres.
64.
That's pretty good, Summers.
Hey there, Wisconsin. Tom Hartman. Democracy is not a spectator sport, so join me each and every weekday right here on Civic Media for the Tom Hartman program.
That's funny.
11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Covering the news of the day and sharing ways for you to get off the sidelines and get active in your community because change starts with you. Get involved and tune in to the Tom Hartman program Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. right here on your local Civic Media radio station.
When it comes to vaping, the truth can get clouded. So let's make it clear. Vaping is not safe for youth.
Because vaping can put microscopic particles into your lungs.
And dangerous things like metals into your body.
And nicotine, which can harm a person's
About 30
brain
seconds.
Blinded by the lights, wrapped up like a douche, another runner in the night. Blinded by the lights, wrapped up like a douche, another runner in the night.
Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show from beautiful Wausau, Wisconsin, WXCO on the Civic Media Radio Network. If you're in North Central Wisconsin, dial us up at 98.9 FM. Or 1230 on the AM dial. Don't forget, you can always listen to us. Visit the Civic Media app to do so. Go to your Apple or Android device. Go to the App Store, type in Civic, C-I-V-I-C, Media. It'll pop up, cute little CM logo. Click on that. Download it. Takes less than a minute. It's free. The Civic Media app is what Gail King at CBS calls a deal. The Civic Media app, because that way you've heard Chad Holmes earlier in the show, our great general manager up there here, and maybe you grew up in North Central Wisconsin, and you say, well, I would like to keep up on the news, or maybe you're just interested, maybe you have a vacation spot up here, and you're like, well, I want to keep track of local news and sports in Central Wisconsin, North Central Wisconsin. Easy enough. Download the Civic Media app and then scroll down. The first 10 stations are the news talk stations. Scroll down to WXCO, click on that, and you can hear Chad Holmes and all the great people up here, all the great local programming from North Central Wisconsin anytime you darn well please. And if you're in the area, stop down today. You can see behind me, if you're watching on the stream, Facebook, YouTube, what used to be Twitter, that there's the reception. We have people there, somebody right there, walking through and have cake here for you, a lovely cake from a local bakery and some hors d'oeuvres and things. Meet all the local folks here at WXCO who work so hard to bring you the community that is North Central Wisconsin. All right, it is 36 minutes now past the hour of 3 o'clock. Time once again for What's Worse. Let's go.
This or that, this or that. Then of course, the choice is yours. You can get with this or you can get with that.
Time once again for What's Worse. Nothing to give away, no prize money involved, but it is your chance to have your voice heard across all 10 news, sports, and talk stations of the Civic Media Radio Network. All right, timely indeed, as our friend Mike Lucas is fond of saying, I've only met the guy once, but yet I call him my friend. How about that? But very nice person the one time I did meet him. Anyway, timely indeed, because we started the day off in Waukesha, the lovely community of Waukesha, home of WAUK radio, which is 540 on the AM dial, and now at 100.3 FM. I listened to both on the way up here today. Great signal. So check out WAUK rather. Got on the interstate, drove Pertner back to Madison, and then took a hard right and headed north here to the beautiful North Woods. Lovely colors, by the way. You get north of Stevens Point right now, and all kinds of oranges, reds, and yellows. Beautiful summers.
Absolutely. I've been up there a little bit recently, and it's always gorgeous this time of year.
Yeah, so check out the fall colors. So here's the category today. What's worse, sun in the eyes while driving or driving in the fog? Sun in the eyes while driving or fog while driving? 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842. What's worse, sun in the eyes while driving or fog while driving? Now, this is, you can also put a comment on YouTube, Facebook, what used to be Twitter, and you can also text us on the aforementioned Civic Media app. What's worse, sun in the eyes while driving or fog while driving? 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842. Zommers, feelings, questions?
I don't know about questions, but it seems pretty straightforward to me, at least. But yeah, it's, both of these suck a lot. And as somebody who has, unsurprisingly, relatively sensitive eyes to light, sun in the eyes can be simply terrible. But also, being able to see more than 10 feet in front of your car is usually also helpful when you're driving.
Right. That is also, but because whenever you're driving, it seems, do you wear sunglasses when you drive regardless or not?
I do very often, not always, but my sunglasses, I have prescription sunglasses, and I always keep them in my car because I need them, I will say, probably 80% of days.
Yeah, I had cataract surgery a couple of years ago, and ever since then, my eyes are more sensitive to light. But it's one of those things. Usually, when you have sun in the eyes while driving, it's either in the morning or late afternoon towards sunset, right? Where fog, if you get into fog, that could last, a long, long time. That could, your whole trip, if you take an hour trip or whatever it is, depending upon the day. So one of them, I think, is doesn't last as long, but can be blinding. The other one, the fog, lasts forever. So what do you think? What's worse, sun in the eyes while driving or fog while driving? 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842. Angie, listening in beautiful Monroe down in Greene County on WMDX out of Madison, says fog is worse. You can't just cover your eyes, right? Like with the sun, you can cover your sunglasses or a ball cap or a visor usually. But yeah, fog, you can put your lights on low, I guess, or if you have fog lamps, but you can't just get the fog out of your eyes no matter what. So Angie's saying fog is worse, Zommers. What's worse, sun in the eyes while driving or fog while driving? 855-752-4842, 855-752-4842, or text us on the Civic Media app.
One thought that I have about this, I think for me, sun in the eyes is worse because, as I mentioned, I have pretty sensitive eyes. And even with sunglasses, sometimes it feels like you just can't see right. But I think fog while driving is worse overall because I don't trust other people to be able to drive in it. I know that I can drive with the sun in my eyes, but even if I can see, someone behind me might not be able to, and they might ram into me while it's foggy.
Yeah, that's another concern, right? The people behind you, what are they doing to not be paying attention? You never, as Ken Lewis, my social studies teacher, is fond of saying, you're never so poor you can't pay attention, right? Pay attention. Brett in Brown Deer, always appreciate its listenership. Brett in Brown Deer on WAUK out of Waukesha, Milwaukee, says fog is so much worse. It can be deadly. The worst crash in Wisconsin happened in Cedar Grove because of fog, and I saw the wreck. Terrible. yeah, those. I mean, it can literally be deadly, right? In those situations. So not fun at all. Sean, listening in Richland Center on WRCE in the Driftless. Sean says, without a doubt, fog is worse. A delivery driver pulling out of a driveway, especially on the Highway 14, can be terrifying. Of course, Sean, one of the great UPS drivers out there in Southwest Wisconsin. And boy, don't I know it, Sean. Travel Highway 14 going from Madison to Richland Center frequently. And you're right. I mean, you can't see more than, 10 yards, 20 yards either way. And you got to pull out onto a state highway where people could be going anywhere from 55 to 65, let's be honest. And I mean, you don't know what's behind that screen of fog.
Right. Like, I know in fog, I slow down, but not everyone does.
Right. Yeah. We have off of YouTube. One of our YouTube viewers says, sun for me is worse. I am a basement dweller. Outside is for people with morals. Okay, very good. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but okay. All right, so somebody who does not like the sun. What?
And yeah, it looks like we're caught up at the moment.
Oh, we're caught up at the moment. All right, very good. One more. Greg in Genesee Depot in listening to WAUK in Waukesha says fog is worse. I pulled over on a ramp and missed a 1 mile pileup. Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah. No, I'm right with our listeners. I mean, if it's really foggy, like if I can't see more than 20 feet in front of my truck, I'm not driving for those reasons. For what Greg said right there, because you come up on a pile up, you can't stop in time, no matter if you're going 10 miles an hour or whatever. PJ on YouTube says fog is worse because with the sun, you could drive with your back to it. Fog, you get stuck in all directions. Angie in Monroe on WMDX says people with I'm not exactly sure what that is. Do you know what that is?
It might be a typo or an autocorrect, but
all right.
People with white cars, I think.
People
with white cars that think that their auto lights are on is the ultimate worst.
Yeah, in a fog, right? Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you
can't
for
see that.
No, it's absolutely not great stuff. So, anything else, Summers? We all go. Well, I guess to you, what's worse, Summers? Sun in the eyes or driving while foggy?
I'm also going to go with fog. It's just it seems so much more dangerous.
Yep, totally agree. Fog is worse. All right, there's another edition of What's Worse. We'll have a brand new edition on tomorrow's Friday, Summers. Tomorrow, thank goodness it's Friday. We'll be back in the home studio. Although at this point, should I just go somewhere else for tomorrow? No,
he's a good question.
He's saying no. I got to come home tomorrow. All right, we'll be in studio tomorrow. Peter Rapine is going to be on with us from the E-Bombs world. Always fantastic. A humorous look at the week in review. The weekly news roundup with Peter Rapine. A brand new edition of Wisconsin Fun Facts tomorrow. This will be fantastic. And, of course, a brand new edition of What's Worse. And we might hear one more time from our friends at No Packers, No Life about this great screening they're going to have at High Point Cinema Marcus Theater in Madison, Wisconsin. So all that and much, much more. Little breaking news right now at 46 minutes past the hour of 3 o'clock. This comes to us from Channel 3000, the CBS affiliate in Madison, Wisconsin. Ex-Trump National Security Advisor Bolton has been charged in a probe of mishandling of classified information. According to CNN and the Associated Press, former Trump administration National Security Advisor John Bolton was charged this afternoon in a federal investigation into the potential mishandling of classified information, according to a person familiar with the matter who told the Associated Press. The investigation into Bolton, who served for more than a year in President Donald Trump's first administration before being fired in 2019, burst into public view in August when the FBI searched his home in Maryland and his office in Washington for classified records he may have held onto for more from his years in government. The existence of the indictment was confirmed to the Associated Press by a person familiar with the matter who could not publicly discuss the charges and spoke with the AP on condition of anonymity. Agents during the search back in August seized multiple documents classified or labeled classified, confidential, and secret from Bolton's office, according to previously unsealed court filings. Some of the seized records appear to concern weapons of mass destruction, national strategic communication, and the U.S. mission to the United States, the filing stated. The indictment sets the stage for a closely watched court case centering on a longtime fixture in the Republican foreign policy circle who became known for his hawkish views on American power and who, after leaving Trump's first government, emerged as a prominent vocal critic of the president. Again, John Bolton has reportedly been indicted by Trump's Justice Department. I'm sure Maggie Dawn will have this coming up after 4 o'clock at her show as well. Come on back. We'll wrap things up here from Wausau after this on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Todd is gonna make it through the night.
Wisconsin has a fish fry on a Friday night. This is the Civic Media Radio Network.
Fall is in the air, and there's no better place to enjoy it than at Sugar River Pizza in Sun Prairie. Cozy up inside for some spirits, 48 beers on tap, and THC drinks. Choose from a wide selection of their warm pastas, 12-hour smoked pulled pork, and of course, their pizzas. Voted Best of Madison, Sugar River Pizza is known for great food, great drinks, and a warm, welcoming atmosphere. Located on Cabela Drive in Sun Prairie, they also offer catering. Sugar River Pizza, where fall feels like home.
Hey, Gordy, I gotta admit, these hearing aids from Madison Hearing Aid Center changed my life.
Mine too, John. I thought I needed subtitles to talk to my grandkids.
And these aren't those old giant clunkers we saw in the old days. It's got Bluetooth, it's rechargeable, the works.
Yeah, my phone connects straight to my ears. I'm basically a cyborg now.
Well, you just figured out texting last year, too.
Yeah, baby steps. But I did call Madison Hearing Aid Center, and you should too. 608-249-4077.
608-249-4077. Tell them John and Gordy sent you.
Are National Guard troops generally trained in law enforcement? No. National Guard troops like those President Donald Trump deployed to American cities in recent months to crack down on crime are not generally trained in law enforcement. For example, police officers in Washington, D.C. receive 21 training modules in criminal procedure, but Guard members receive none. Their primary training is focused on crowd control. Milwaukee's police union president suggested troops should be sent to Wisconsin's largest city. Governor Tony Evers called National Guard troops the, quote, wrong people, unquote, for fighting crime. I'm Trisha Young for Wisconsin Watch. Fact briefs are bite-sized fact checks of trending claims produced by Wisconsin Watch and GigaFact. Read more at wisconsinwatch.org.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard, aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
Is your computer so slow you can hardly use it? Does it have blue screens, malware, viruses, reboots, hardware crashes?
30 seconds.
Sound familiar?
Thank you. Welcome back to the Todd Allbaugh Show, live on location, WXCO, beautiful Bull Falls Radio in Wausau, Wisconsin, where the time is now 8 minutes before the hour of 4 o'clock. Coming up at the top of the hour, ABC or CBS News, depending upon which of our great stations you're listening to. A check of weather by our weather team. I can tell you here in Wausau, a little overcast, but not too bad at all. Beautiful day to walk in downtown Wausau and stop by the studios of WXCO. Then a check of sports with our great sports reporter Mike Clemens, who will bring you the news from Los Angeles, California, where now that Todd can read the times correctly. Yes, I was taught to read it. You'll be Platteville. Game 3 starts 4:30, not 3:30, 4:30 for the pregame show. The first pitch from Chavez Ravine in Los Angeles just after 5 o'clock Wisconsin time. That's 3 o'clock on the West Coast. So Brewers trying to get in the win column here in Game 3. And Dan Schaefer, I forgot to mention this when he was on earlier with us, he is billing this as the Glitz versus Schlitz series, which I love every part of that. Chad Holmes, the general manager here of WXCL, rejoins me now here at the table. I like that. How about you?
I like it a lot, and I got an offer for you.
Yeah, please.
Because, you're talking about overcast, and maybe it's more football weather, and when we get done here, I'm heading over to Wausau West because on Thursdays after practice, I do my pregame interview for tomorrow night's broadcast. You should come along and do the pregame interview for me.
Now, see, I would, but I don't know anything about these teams.
I know.
I'd be a goofball. I'd be like, Coach, first of all, what's your name?
You're a master interviewer, so you
I
probably
wouldn't say
make
that,
it
but thank you.
happen.
You do a great job.
I appreciate
I mean, one of the things, you said this earlier, and by the way, quickly, just before we move on, Brewers, people who will cut away, stations will cut away at 4:30 for the pregame show. Over the air are RCE in Richland Center, ISS in Oshkosh, RJN in Racine, Kenosha, CQM in Park Falls, and WBZH in Hayward. And you can hear that over the air. And Maggie Dawn will still be on the stream because we can't.
What a pro, I tell you. I mean, you got all this stuff that you have to keep track of, and even in the middle of the conversation, hey, I got to make sure I mention those stations because vitally important because big game coming up.
It is a big game. You feel good about tonight?
I think they're going to win.
Yeah.
I just think this team, every time you think that they were heading out in the wrong direction, they'd find a way to turn it around.
Yeah.
And I know it's not going to be easy. I mean, the first two games are not fun in terms of seeing what the Brewers were doing offensively. They better be a little more patient at the plate, and they better just make it more difficult on the Dodgers. They haven't made it very difficult the first two games.
Zommers, if we could, I know Mike Clemens talked to manager Pat Murphy on Game 3 tonight. So if we have that, here's Brewers manager Pat Murphy, courtesy of Mike Clemens, on this Game 3 tonight in Los Angeles.
You guys might have us counted out, and I understand that. 90% of the teams that have been in this situation don't win the series. But this team has been counted out a lot this year, and I think there's some fight left in them, and it'll be a little tougher path, right, doing it on the road, but we swept the Dodgers early in the year on the road, so at least there's some capability. I know the Dodgers weren't the same team then, but, 10 times this year we've won 4 in a row, so that's also a possibility.
Brewers manager Pat Murphy, courtesy of our own Mike Clemens. And
man knows the stats, doesn't he?
Right? Chad Holmes, you're a guy who's done a lot of sports over the years and interviewed a lot of coaches. You do it so very well. Is there a better fit for the Brewers right now than Pat Murphy?
Isn't it an amazing story? Because when he took over, it felt like, oh boy, it's going to be a tough situation. It feels like Council's bailing, and he may know something here, and that Murphy will come in, and after 2.5 years, they're going to move on from it. It just felt like a bad situation, and this man has taken total advantage of this opportunity. And it feels like a guy that probably felt like, well, I'm not going to get this opportunity.
Right.
But he got it, and then he took complete advantage. And the thing that's so impressive about Murphy is he is who he is. He doesn't try to put on a face for anything. He just he is Pat Murphy. Every time he gets in front of that microphone, it is such a breath of fresh air.
It really is. And to your point, I think he told the guys right after Council left, he said, I know some of you guys are probably just thinking, they're going to give the old horse one last chance before he retires. But he won National League Manager of the Year last year. I don't know who's done a better job this year.
Nobody. I mean, 97 wins. And you remember the first weekend of the series against New York, the Yankees?
Yeah.
They got just smashed. And then they came home and they got smashed in the home opener. I mean, nobody thought they were going to win half their games this year, let alone a team record. I mean, just an incredible story.
Let's talk a couple minutes we have left here, Chad, a little bit more about WXCO, the great station up here. You guys do a great job. General manager, the voice of WXCO. What do you want people to know? We talked earlier, we plugged it, that if people might have grown up here in the Wausau area and said, geez, I wish I could keep track of the news or high school sports, they can by downloading for free the Civic Media app and following you all on WXCO via the app. But what do you want people to know about this region of the state or the station?
Well, I think you can find out a lot by just going to our podcast for our WXCO Morning Report, because we talk to people like Sean Wright, the executive director of the Grand Theater, on a regular basis about what's going on there and the incredible renovation project that they're going to begin. We talk to folks that are involved in the arts and entertainment and in government. There is so much going on here, and it's not a community that is sitting still. And I think that if you want to keep up to what's going on, take a tune in, because again, that's one of the things I think we talked earlier. I don't think communities can sit still in this era. I mean, you have to be on top of things all the time or you're going to fall behind, and so many communities fall behind, whether their downtown start to fade away a little bit. Wausau stayed on top of that. Their downtown is still vibrant. So again, I think one of the things that Wausau does well is that we are on top of things, and that keeping, again, the good things in life at the forefront and really enjoying life in so many different ways, and I think we do it pretty well over here.
You do it great. Chad Holmes, all the crew here at XTO, thanks for being great hosts, and you guys are part of what makes Wisconsin great.
Finish off that cake.
We will. We'll have a little cake for you. We'll be back at the home studio tomorrow in Madison with Peter. Studio? The home, well, for us at least.
Home studio. Homes.
Well, home. Oh, the Chad Holmes. He wants some naming rights, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we'll call it. We'll see you tomorrow with Peter Rapine. Many thanks to Dan Schaefer, Chad Holmes, and of course, Aaron Zomer is our great producer back at Madison. Maggie Dawn is next. Wherever you're fighting for, whatever you believe in, do not give up. Keep banging your drum, and let's go Brewers. Stay tuned. That's next as well. All right. Thanks, everybody in the stream. We appreciate you. We'll see you tomorrow from Madison. Bye-bye.
Adios.
That was great. That was awesome.